I think I'm finally ready to tell you the story of my most successful game. And to be fair, I feel very nervous. It's been over 7 months since I published the first video on this channel, and I've already shared the stories of each one of my other 7 games. I'll leave links to corresponding videos in the description so you can watch them. But when I say that during the first 8 years of my game development career I created 8 games, it doesn't mean that on average I spent like 1 year on each game. It's more like I created 7 games during the first 2 years, and my last game I devoted 6 years to it. Hey guys, my name is Yaroslav, I'm a solo game developer from Ukraine, and today I'll share the story, but more importantly, the results of the game that took me 3 years to create and another 3 years to polish, improve and evolve. This game earned almost 5 times as much as all my other games combined and managed to gather more than 2 million plays on Kongregate alone. If you're already interested, please support me with your like and subscribe to this channel, it means the world to me. Everything started at the end of 2013. I had already completed and released my game jam project titled The Choice and was looking for ideas for my next game. By that time, I had 3 different kind of smaller, quick game jam projects in my pocket and was, frankly, a little bit tired of developing these small games. They required the maximum level of effort and concentration during a limited time period, with an abysmal chance to become really profitable and successful. Given the experience I gained developing these smaller games, I considered myself ready to try a bigger project and was eagerly looking forward to it. However, even though I knew I wanted a bigger project, I was struggling with ideas for an actual game. Around this time, I stumbled upon a game that turned out to become one of the biggest and most successful idle games in the world, giving birth to the entire genre of idle incrementals. I'm talking about Cookie Clicker, which I totally fell in love with. It was hard to believe how such a tiny, simple game could be so addictive. I thought about it all the time. Waking up in the morning, the first thing I did was check my overnight offline progress. However, while loving every aspect of Cookie Clicker, I constantly came up with hundreds of ideas on how to improve the game and make it even more thrilling and engaging. So, I decided to develop my own ideal idle incremental game, Get a Little Gold. I started strong, devoting all my time and energy to the new project. However, just a few months after I embarked on the game creation journey, my daughter Victoria was born. I was happy, of course, but as a solo game developer working from home, I was no longer able to remain as efficient and productive as I was before. In a very short time, I found out that not only does a newborn baby require a huge amount of time, but she also craves your full attention, especially at times when you are trying to concentrate on coding. Which is completely normal, of course, but it slowed down the development process quite a bit. Long story short, instead of spending 12 to 18 months on development as I originally planned, I completed the game in a little less than 3 years. Initially, I hoped to sell it at the Flash Game License site, as I did with all my previous games. I even placed Get a Little Gold on auction and contacted sponsors. However, during these 3 years, the game sponsorship market itself had changed. It seemed that big sponsors were no longer interested in Flash games, as this technology was slowly fading. Although I did receive a few bids from unknown sponsors, the highest was only $500. It was embarrassing and I felt terrible. The game I had worked on for almost 3 years received a lower bid than my previous one, which I made in 1 week. Quite expectedly, I refused the bid and started thinking about what to do next. As nobody was interested in buying my game, the only option I really had was to release it by myself. It was quite a risky endeavor, considering the fact that I had no previous experience with self-publishing. However, I knew that Kongregate accepted games from solo developers and even shared a part of the revenue from advertisements placed on the game page. So, without further ado, I uploaded Get a Little Gold to Kongregate and it went live on October 11, 2016. The game performed really well right from the beginning. Get a Little Gold received hundreds of thousands of plays, tons of positive comments, and 4+ stars ranking, which is considered really good on Kongregate. I continued working on game improvements, adding new mechanics, achievements, upgrades, researches, artifacts, and so on. During the first year after the release, I came up with 14 game updates, including different extensions, bug fixes, and patches. The game managed to gather a strong base of loyal players, actively engaging in game's life and eagerly waiting for each new update. Still, in terms of revenue, the game didn't show even mildly decent results. It was natural, considering the fact that the only source of revenue was the ID not even in the game itself, but on the game page on Kongregate. Yet, looking at all the positive reviews, I believed that Get a Little Gold could do much better. That's when I decided to try implementing in-app purchases into the game. Fortunately, Kongregate provides such an opportunity for its developers. I spent another 3 to 4 months putting together an in-app purchases system and incorporating it into Get a Little Gold. In-app purchases were first introduced about 1.5 years after the game was released, and it turned out to be one of the best decisions I ever made, considering the monetization of Get a Little Gold, as the game's revenue just skyrocketed. To put it into perspective, in the 18 months before implementing in-app purchases, the game earned nearly $1,000. Now, within 1 month after in-app purchases went live, the game earned 3 times as much. But what's even more important is that over the next months and years, this level of revenue remained more or less consistent, without signs of dropping or slowing down. Of course, to keep players engaged and interested, I had to release updates regularly. Over the course of 4 years, from the initial release until the end of 2020, when Flash technology was essentially discontinued, making it no longer possible to launch Flash applications in browsers, I rolled out 40 game updates, almost 1 update every month throughout the game's lifetime. The game began as a simple idle clicker with only 2 basic challenges and an endless mode. There were no global or hero skills, no red shards, no hard achievements, no mascots or artifacts, and no special events. However, through 4 years of improvement and refinement, Get a Little Gold transformed into a completely different game, featuring 10 basic challenges all the way up to the Vigintillion challenge. Additionally, it introduced a variety of features such as chest challenges, golem challenge, a crafting and enchanting system, 6 major in-game events like Thanksgiving, Christmas or Easter events, and so much more. During its time on Kongregate, Get a Little Gold was played more than 2 million times. Now, if you're curious about the revenue numbers, here they are. Over 4 years, the game earned almost $10,000 from ID revenue and an additional $900 from incentivized ads added in 2019. Next up is the revenue from in-app purchases, which hit a whopping $94,000, averaging around $2,600 per month for 3 years since in-app purchases were implemented. That brings us to almost $105,000 in total. Of course, we are talking about gross earnings here. The actual money I received after Kongregate's commissions and taxes was closer to $70,000, which I still consider a success. At least it's somewhat better than the $500 I was offered to sell the game on Flash Game License site, isn't it? As you may know, after Flash technology died, I switched to Unity and am currently working on porting Get a Little Gold for mobile devices. I'm thrilled to announce that the beta version of the game is almost ready, and hopefully will be open for testing in a month or two. If you don't want to miss it, make sure to subscribe to this channel, as I'll definitely publish a video once the game is released. I also want to express my gratitude to the awesome Get a Little Gold player community, who has always supported and inspired me. They posted hundreds of positive comments on Congregate, published inspiring posts on Reddit, and now they support me here on YouTube. However, the most active players are engaging in discussions on the Get a Little Gold Discord server. I'll leave a link to it in the description down below, so you can join. Undoubtedly, without the support of the most loyal players, I wouldn't be able to stay sane and continue development in the harsh circumstances of the war currently unfolding in my country. If you are interested in the development of Get a Little Gold, watch the next video, where I discuss some technical aspects of the game. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.